Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Teach the Geek Interviews. My name is Neil Thompson, founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. The first offering of the platform is a public speaking course called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Typically, I like to interview people about public speaking, but we're in different times right now. So I really thought it'd be really important to talk about those times. You know, to put it plainly, COVID-19 is screwing so many people over. Companies are going under. People are losing their jobs left and right. We're stuck inside. We got to wear masks everywhere. It can all seem so defeating, but the government is working to provide Americans with resources so we can weather this storm. And so today I have from the SBA, Jamye Pritchett Solorzano. I think I got that right. Hopefully I got that right. And she's going to help us in learning more about solutions to help us, get through these times. Welcome to Teach the Geek Interviews, Jamye.
Thank you so much, Neil. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, the COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you call it, we're in tough times right now. People, as I mentioned, businesses are struggling, and people don't know where to turn. But someone like yourself who is affiliated with the SBA, it's really great to be able to speak to somebody like you. What type of programs can people, I guess, not look forward to, but they can take advantage of to get through these times?
Okay, as a result of the CARES Act, we have 4 programs. So four programs available, and I'm going to quickly walk through those 4 programs, and then we can take some questions later. So the first program, it's called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And make a long story short, that program is aimed to provide relief to businesses to overcome the temporary loss of revenue. So this includes small businesses, nonprofits, and some veteran organizations with less than 500 people. So the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program was available online. It's currently not available. We're waiting for a new appropriation. And the way you would apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan is on our website at www.sba.gov. So everybody on this call right now can log on and take a look at that Economic Injury Disaster Loan. All of the information is up there. And then hopefully as soon as we get an appropriation, the portal will get turned back on, and everyone will be able to go in there and submit an application if they've not already done so. Huge demand on that Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Okay, so that's one of the programs. What are the other 3?
Okay, so the second one, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. It's called the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. A lot of people are calling it PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. And so the awesome thing about the Paycheck Protection Program is it's a loan that helps businesses, again, small businesses here, to keep their workforce employed during the coronavirus crisis. So it again includes small businesses, some veteran organizations, tribal business concerns with less than 500 people. And the great feature about PPP is as of April 10th, it also included independent contractors and those that are self-employed, which is so many people these days in our economy, and especially in San Diego. Again, one of the great things that I want to share is there's a loan forgiveness feature. So a loan forgiveness to the Paycheck Protection Program. So if a percentage of the funds are used to keep people on payroll, then there's an application process to request to have that loan forgiven.
Oh, wow, that's excellent. And okay, so And then, so those are two of the four programs. What about the last two?
Okay, so the other two, if we're talking SBA loans, is an SBA Express Bridge Loan. Express Bridge Loan. So here's a scenario. Say I'm a small business owner and I have a relationship with a SBA lender, right? I can go to that SBA lender and request a up to $25,000 express bridge loan. So what this means is if I need financial reprieve during COVID-19 and I have a relationship with a bank or financial institution that's an SBA Express lender, I can quickly go and ask for a loan up to $25,000 at that lender, and it's expressed fast track. So that's another way to get some money to keep going during the crisis, which I know is a challenge for all the small businesses.
Right, and then the last one.
Okay, so the last one is it's definitely a perk. So a lot of people, if you didn't know about the Small Business Administration before, everybody knows about us now. So say I have an SBA loan already. So there's some awesome features about our SBA loans, and I encourage everybody to take a look. And I think we're going to share some of that information about SBA loans and the guarantees and how the percentage rates and how that works when you're engaging in loans with SBA. So one of the really cool features is, say I have a small business and I have an SBA loan. Right now, those loans would be in deferment. So I'm not paying back that loan during the crisis. So they're deferred for up to 6 months. So automatically the SBA has, we have special processing in place. So if I have a loan, I'm not paying that loan right now, and I'm able to reserve what I would be paying on the loan to maybe put towards operating capital.
Okay, so I guess we'll go through each of these programs one by one. For the economic injury disaster loan, what information does a business need to have available to apply for the loan?
Okay, so what's really cool is on our website on SBA.gov. So that's where you're going to go. That's where that application, you're going to secure it electronically. If we have it as data, we can process it faster. And so you're going to log on to www.sba.gov. And there's a yellow banner up there. You can click on that yellow banner, COVID-19, and that's going to shoot you straight to the economic injury disaster loan. And basic questions. So your name, business name, EIN, social security number. You want to make sure that you have some tax information from last year if you have it available. And it's going to path you through the various questions. So it's not a difficult application to fill out. We do have, you can contact SBA if you have any questions on it. We've been having webinars on how to complete it. And I'm also going to get into, I'm going to save it for a little while later, but I'm going to also share with you other resources or resource partners that could also help you to complete the application if you get stuck. So far, we've got a lot of positive feedback regarding the new online portal.
Okay. And when you say you need tax information, would you need to have filed your 2019 taxes to file for or to apply for the EIDL loan?
No, you're not going to, depending on where you're at, if you've already got your tax information, what you want to do, if I was a small business owner, is get my most recent tax return together. So I know because of COVID, we know the IRS has, our federal partner, the IRS, has been great at giving people extensions. So get your most recent tax return together. If you already completed it, then terrific. And if not, get the prior years.
Okay. And is there specific financial information that you have to have at hand to be able to apply for this loan?
Your tax information is going to be the crux of most of the questions.
Okay. All right. That's fair. And then also, when it comes to the EIDL loan, how much can you borrow?
Okay, EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, up to $2 million.
Oh, 2 million. And then when do you have to start paying that money back?
I think there is a 12-month deferment on EIDL. Some of them vary. For example, Paycheck Protection Program is 6 months.
6 months. And then with that the payment protection program, how much can you borrow for that program?
Okay, so Paycheck Protection Program, it's always tricky to say that Paycheck Protection Program is up to 10 million right now.
10 million. Okay, wonderful. And you get 6 months deferred.
Yeah, 6 months deferred on that.
And you said that it's forgivable?
Yeah, so let's walk through a scenario.
Okay.
So again, the whole the premise behind Paycheck Protection Program is to keep people working, keep people on staff. So say I own a small business and I have 30 employees, and I'm able to retain a large percentage of my employees, keep them working. If I allocate 75% of what I've borrowed to payroll and keep my people on staff, keep us working, then there's the other 25% that you could use on rent and other expenses. And then at that point, once I've received funds and 90 days have gone by and I'm utilizing this money to keep up with my payroll and keep my people on staff so that the economy is able to drive growth, then there's a forgiveness process where of course you want to track all your expenses, and I would even recommend having someone in charge of tracking those expenses. And then that information gets submitted to the lender that issued the Paycheck Protection Program loan, and then there's that application period to apply for forgiveness.
Okay. And when you say payroll expenses, is that just the money that you pay the employees, or does that include the covering their benefits and all those other ancillary expenses?
Yeah, it includes quite a bit, and that's one of the things that we could also provide to your callers is the specifics on exactly what expenses that you need to track. But yes, so payroll, 75%, that payroll bucket, and then another 25% could be spent on other expenses such as rent.
I know you'd mentioned for the Paycheck Protection Program. I'll just call it PPP from now on.
Yeah, okay.
It's getting too damn complicated. PPP it is. Yeah, so for the PPP program, you mentioned self-employed and independent contractors were eligible. Are they not eligible for the EIDL program?
Yes, they're eligible for EIDL. The reason why I kind of separated that out, so they were eligible as of April 10th for the PPP.
Okay. And also for the EIDL.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, so that's good to know. Is there any benefit to applying to just one, or applying for both of them?
Well, Neil, there's benefit to applying for both of them. For example, these are federal programs that are out there, and during the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, there are challenges that we face that we've never faced before. So applying for every program that you're eligible for would be the guidance from the Small Business Administration.
All right. And then, the EIDL program, that's the program through the SBA. Is the PPP through the SBA as well?
Okay, so the PPP does fall under the CARES Act. The difference in how the program is administered for PPP, you're going to actually go to a lender, so a bank whom you have a relationship preferred, and you're going to actually submit an application to one of those financial institutions that are approved to participate in the PPP program. And so you're going to surrender your application to that bank. Instead of going online to SBA.gov, you're going to actually go to your lender. So the point of service is going to be different for PPP. You're going to go to your lender.
Okay, so for EIDL, you're going to directly to SBA, but for PPP, you're going to a lender.
Yes.
Okay. And then I know you'd mentioned that for PPP, some of that, 75% of that money can be forgivable if you track those expenses, if they're used for payroll. For EIDL, is any of that money forgivable?
Okay, so EIDL also has a forgiveness feature. And the way that that's working right now is up to $10,000. So say I'm going to provide a general scenario. Say I have a business and I borrow $60,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up to a maximum of 10% could be forgivable. And the way that that's shaking out right now is $1,000 per employee. So say I have a business and I have 10 employees, then theoretically I could ask for forgiveness up to $10,000, $1,000 per employee. So the entire loan is not forgivable, but there is a portion of it where you could ask for loan forgiveness on it.
Okay.
And they're calling it an advance.
Advance. All right. So say, for instance, you have, the 500 employees, but because you said it's 1,000 per employee up to $10,000, that's the 10,000 is the cap. That's the most that can be forgiven.
Yeah, the $10,000.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. This is really good. This is really great information. What's the timeline for actually receiving the loans once you've applied?
Okay, so that's one of the things that's been all over the place, Neil. I don't work processing. I'm not a loan officer, so I'm not in there processing the loans. So for example, yesterday, I probably spoke with about 50 different small business owners on the telephone, answering the calls in the office for people that came in. And it's been all over the place as far as exactly when the loan gets completed and when it was submitted and when it gets processed. So I don't have a hard date on it's going to be processed exactly in 14 days. I wish I was able to say that to you, Neil, but I don't have that information.
Okay. And I know you had said that for these loans that the information is going to be based on your tax return. And typically when people file taxes, they'll include their bank information so that the money can be, especially if they're owed a refund, the money is just directly or deposited directly in their account. What if you have in your taxes you actually owed money? Will they still do they still have the bank? Do you have to provide the banking information at a later date, or I guess at some point to be able to get the money deposited to your account?
Okay, so that's one of the advantages of having having a relationship with the bank, for example, on the Paycheck Protection Program. So if you're already a customer at that bank and you're banking there, then they have your direct deposit information. And just as you mentioned, Neil, so the direct deposit comes from the United States Treasury. So the fastest way to receive money is through a direct deposit account. So on both of these, the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, there's questions in both of those applications that are going to ask you for your direct deposit information, and that's pretty much standard on all of our federal programs.
Okay, so that clears that up. 'Cause just like you said, for PPP, since you're going through a bank, they'll and typically if you're going through the bank that you bank with, they'll have your information on your bank information already, obviously. But for EIDL, since it's directly through SBA, they may not have that information, but they get that information at some point during the application.
Yeah, they'll be asking you for your direct deposit information and your email address and information that you have on your taxes and your EIN and social security number and what type of business structure that you have and when did you incorporate, when did you create your business, all of those types of questions. And I believe there's for people that would like to take a look at the application, we did have some webinars, and I'm sure there's some recorded information out there where people could take a look at the screens and try to figure out what information they want to have ready so that when they go through those pass and apply online, they have the information there and they don't have to stop and they're able to just continue going through. And again, we're going to talk about our resource partners, and they're terrific at providing information to answer those very specific questions that maybe a user might not know exactly how to answer or has a question about.
Wonderful. And then, are there any reasons that you know of that people have been or businesses have been rejected for any of the programs?
Okay, so there are a few on the first screen. So there are ineligible businesses. So speculative real estate, businesses that are derive a certain amount of their proceeds from gambling. So yeah, there are some exclusions on there.
Okay. And are there, I guess, could someone potentially receive rejection just because they didn't fill out the application, I guess, properly?
Well, yeah, so anybody can, if you don't have a completed application, then you could go, down that path. So yes, it is important to have your application completed so that so whether you're a Paycheck Protection Program applicant and you're going to the bank or whether you're applying online, you want to have complete information as much as possible so that there's no question and the downstream person, the loan officer that's processing it, is able to take a look at everything and have all the information readily available, and there's no stop in that process.
Okay.
So yeah, I would, if you're concerned about not being able to effectuate an application right away, then yeah, leverage our resource partners and say, I'm going to apply, I'm ready, I want to make sure that I have everything together that I'm going to need. And so you can do that one-stop shopping through the application process. I will say that it is pretty, it appears somewhat user-friendly. However, I know when you're applying for benefits, especially any sort of federal benefit, the person filling out the application, the small business owner, may be coming from a place where, like you mentioned in the beginning, they're very scared about their business going under. And sometimes when we're under extreme pressure, we're not able to think as smart as we can when we're in a comfortable situation. So, and that's why I want to impress on people to leverage resources and to reach out if they need help. Because sometimes a third party can come in there and help you to just fill out the application and take some of the emotion out of it.
Yeah. Is it possible for an application to be rejected because whatever entity is judging the application, whether it's the bank that you apply for with respect to PPP or the SBA for the EIDL loan, but they say that the loan amount that you're asking for is too much?
Oh, I'm sure there's probably all types of different categories, and since I'm not a loan officer, I haven't I haven't evaluated the denial reasons, Neil, to that degree. And so I can't really speak to exactly like the number one reason why people are getting denied or not denied or approved. We're still trying to get everybody in the front door.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you'd mentioned that the EIDL program is currently not accepting applications. What about PPP?
Okay, so PPP. So you want to make sure that you reach out to your respective financial institution or your lender. I've heard that depending on where your application has been in the queue, we've been informed that they're still completing to process some of those applications. So as we mentioned, it was just day before yesterday when we found out that the funds were, the appropriations had lapsed, right? So interim, there's still many applications that are in the queue, and we've been informed that many of them are still being processed. I don't know exactly what's being processed and what isn't being processed. And I've also heard that there are some financial institutions that may still be taking the applications and not necessarily processing them. So I think the message that we want to get across to everybody is be on the ready, have your application ready, figure out where it's going to go to, have it completed, so that you are in a forward position to apply for those benefits. And when we hopefully receive more appropriations and they turn the green light on again for us. So that would be our best advice, to be positioned to be ready.
Okay. Do you have any sense on when those appropriations will come through and those programs could, or at least EIDL can open up again?
No.
Okay.
I hope soon. We're waiting. We hope that Congress is working to pass another appropriation, and sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. So you also mentioned that there were resource partners that you wanted to speak about. Let's talk about them now. Who are they?
Okay, awesome. So we have a lot of people don't realize that in the San Diego community and throughout the nation, the United States Small Business Administration, the way we accomplish our mission is with the assistance of resource partners. So resource partners are offices, brick and mortar offices throughout San Diego County, and right now they're Zooming and operating virtually. But these are offices where you can go for free and low cost business counseling. And so we talked about the 4 programs. So there's 4 main resource partners that we have in San Diego and throughout the nation. And so we'll go through them. So Small Business Development Center. And we have multiple locations in San Diego, over 3 different locations. There's one in National City, there's one in North County in Carlsbad, and there's also one in the East County in El Cajon. So they're terrific, and they're very active, the Small Business Development Center right now. So you want to reach out to them, join their newsletter, take a look at their website, and check out all the awesome things that they're doing for the small business community now and every day. And so they're 1, and then we have 4. So the second one, Service Corps of Retired Executives. So we call them, they're known as SCORE. So these are experienced business executives that they're a volunteer corps, so they're awesome. And again, they have a national presence, and they have over 50 years of service to the small business community. And they're located in San Diego. And so the chapter here is very active, and they have mentors. They call themselves mentors that represent over 80 different industries here in San Diego. So they're terrific as well. And they have a website, and they also have a list of courses that you can take. Every month they offer regular courses on QuickBooks and terrific things for small business owners. You could, really leverage the training that they have, that's very low cost throughout the month, that they offer regularly. And they also, in conjunction with the third resource partner, the Women's Business Center, they regularly host a women's breakfast. So the Women's Breakfast is a networking event for women-owned small business, and that happens every other month. And so Neil, it's awesome. You have a room full of women-owned small business, and we always have terrific presenters. And so Women's Business Center, that's the third one, and one of my favorite resource partners. And they're located in National City, and they're terrific as well. And so we're really fortunate that we have those resource partners. And the fourth one. So as you know, Neil, we have one of the largest concentrations of veterans here in San Diego County. Right here in San Diego County, the largest concentrations of veterans throughout the nation are right here with us in San Diego. So we have the veterans. Let me back up. The SOCAL Veterans Business Outreach Center in Carlsbad. And so for our military connected family members and our veterans, and even our current service members, the Veterans Business Outreach Center is reaching out to that cohort of veterans and all their military connected family members that are interested in learning about small business, or are small business owners, or in the service, and transitioning. The Veterans Business Outreach Center, in conjunction with the SBA, is spearheading courses for them on small business.
Okay, well, these are a lot of these are are San Diego specific, but you said that there are, I guess, different types of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Other entities that would be more national, or I guess more regional, I suppose. This is all San Diego.
Okay, so these four are national.
Okay.
These four are national. Now in San Diego, we are action-packed with resource partners. We have over 10 different offices. We have multiple locations of small business development centers. And then we also have a couple specialized locations. We also have the Asian Business Center, which is affiliated with the Small Business Development Center. So we have over 10 different brick and mortar locations of resource partners. So it's huge, and I hope that you share that with your group, because we really are special in San Diego when it comes to all of the resources that are around us here in San Diego, and our resource partners work really hard to provide service to everybody.
So the SBA can offer help in applying for the EIDL loan and for the PPP loan, at least giving some sort of guidance. Do these other groups, so these resource partners, do they offer that same assistance?
Yes, we are leveraging all the resource partners to participate and accomplish our mission to support small businesses. And absolutely, if you need help, if a small business owner needs help with an application, they can reach out to their nearest resource partner and either enroll in a training or a workshop or seek business mentorship or expertise.
Okay. I know I've heard, at least for the PPP program, since you're going through your bank, if you bank with a very large bank, it's really difficult to get in touch with an actual human being. Has that been the case for people who want to get in touch with the SBA or some of these resource partners?
You know, Neil, that's kind of been an issue because of COVID, where everybody's hunkered down, right? So everything for the safety of the workforce in general, and because, you know, of what's going on here in the state of California, we are isolating ourselves. So that's one of the challenges, is everything is going online. So yeah, I know it's been difficult with reaching a bank as you typically would, because a lot of them have reduced hours, and I'm sure they are inundated with applications as well. So yeah, that's kind of the bandwidth is probably something that none of us really considered, you know, with a pandemic, and we've never been in this situation before. So yeah, it has been challenging.
One question I forgot to ask about the EIDL and PPP. When it comes to paying back the loan, what's the interest rate?
Okay, yeah. So both of these are phenomenally low interest, low interest. So for the economic injury disaster loan, and then that brings up another point I want to mention. So the EIDL is also available to certain nonprofits. So in addition to small business, there are some nonprofits. And so for the small business, the interest rate is 3.75. And then for the nonprofits, it's 2.75 right now. That's what we know right now. And then the Paycheck Protection Program, when it rolled out, it was set at 1%. So that's what we know. Those are the interest rates as of today, April 17th. And
Okay.
super low. That's terrific.
Yeah, that is really good. Okay, 3.75 for small business, 2.75 for nonprofits for EIDL, 1% for PPP. EIDL is 12-month deferment. PPP is 6-month deferment. And yeah, okay, wonderful. And yeah, okay, got that. All right. So the EIDL program, the PPP program, we're still waiting for appropriations. Some PPP providers or people that are banks or entities that are participating in the program are still accepting applications, maybe not doing anything with them while waiting for the appropriations, but potentially still accepting applications. Their resource partners are available to help with the providing guidance for applying for these programs. In addition to the SBA Express Bridge loans, if you already had a relationship with an SBA lender, and also if you had an SBA loan already, that gets deferred for 6 months. So this is all really great information to have for people that they've been listening into what we've been talking about, and they want to get started today. Whatever day they actually listen to this interview. What should they be doing? What should be the first thing they should do?
Okay, so what I would do is I would get on SBA.gov and take a look at the programs. So on the website, SBA.gov, there is a yellow COVID-19 banner, and you can literally just make one click on SBA.gov, and it's going to launch you into information regarding each program. So I would read through that, absorb all the information possible, contact my nearest resource partner and say, hey, I want to apply for EIDL. I want to apply for Paycheck Protection Program. I want to be ready. I want to ramp up for it so that when it opens, I am positioning myself to engage in that process as fully as possible. So that's what I would do. That's the action that I would take. Don't get overwhelmed about it. Take one day, hey, I'm going to look at SBA.gov. I'm going to read through that. I'm going to make a phone call to a resource partner, or I'm going to reach out to them on the internet. And I think, Neil, you're going to provide some information for everybody out there. Also, take a look at our district office webpage at the San Diego district office. Join our newsletter. So we have a newsletter, and if you plug in your email address when you visit our webpage, it's going to send you email updates about what's happening. As fast as SBA gets it, then it's going to launch out a press release. So you want to join our newsletter so that you're getting the information as soon as possible and you're positioned to be ready. You want to get your paperwork together, your tax information, your your identification, your business name, when you incorporated your business, all of that. Sometimes I know a lot of people, they've been in business for so long that they don't know, when they incorporated, because they've been in business for 30 years. So just think back as to what you need, get it all together, and reach out. If you're engaging in the Paycheck Protection Program, take a look at what your financial institution is offering and see if they're participating. If they're not, like say you bank at a small credit union and they're not participating in Paycheck Protection Program, then figure out who is. And you can also contact a resource partner or SBA. And if you're not a customer at a bank, we can provide you with information on the lenders and the non-lenders that are going to be accepting applications.
One other question I just thought of. So, I would assume, and maybe I'm wrong, but if you bank with a very large bank, they probably received a whole lot of applications. So the time that it will take them to go through that entire queue would be longer than, say, going through maybe a smaller lender who doesn't have as many applications, and maybe they get to your application quicker. Would that be fair? Would that be fair to say?
The advice that I would give, and like in my situation, I belong to a large bank and then another credit union. So I would, if you have more than one business banking account, or if you go to more than one bank, I would be taking a look at who's offering what. I would be shopping to figure out where I should go. And that may also be a conversation for one of the resource partners or us at the small business at the SBA. I want to make sure I'm ready, and where do I go, and what lenders are accepting applications.
Okay. And I know you'd mentioned that to get in touch with the resource partners, you should call. So you actually call these resource partners. You're actually going to get somebody on the phone as opposed to, a message? Because I'm guessing a lot of people are calling them.
Yeah, so we're answering our phone. One of the things they also sign up. Just take a look at the website. Call, sign up online, however you can do it. Right now, we can't go to the office, but right now it seems like with COVID, everything is online. So yeah, go online first. And there are, Neil, there's people out there that do not have access to a computer, and so we still have to service everybody. But yeah, the majority of people are taking a look at everything online.
Right. I mean, would one be faster than the other? I mean, if you have the option to call or use email?
I would, for the Small Business Development Centers and the Veterans Business Outreach Center and the Women's Business Center and SCORE, those three, I would definitely get online. I know that SCORE has a call center. I don't know if they're manning their call center right now, but yeah, if you want to triage the best way, get online. And then if you can't get online, then of course, reach out and touch somebody on the phone.
Absolutely. Are there any other questions that I should have asked that you would like to provide answers to?
Yeah, so I wanted to, so we talked about the 4 loans and we talked about our 4 resource partners, and I just wanted to quickly share some of the other things that we have on SBA.gov and ways that you can take action during this time period. So one thing, visit SBA.gov. We have information on all of our programs, and we have something for all types of small business. We have a learning center and tutorials on everything from how to write a business plan to how to buy a business. And since everybody is at home and hunkered down right now, or majority of us are, it's a great time to take a look at the tutorials and figure out what I can do to ramp up for my business. We have information geared towards women-owned small business. We actually have an entire site on our website towards women-owned small business. There's a lot of women don't know that you can, there's a women's business chamber of commerce, and there's a lot of organizations that you can join, some of these for free, or certifications. People can learn about federal contracting. You can visit our San Diego district office webpage and join our newsletter. And you can enroll in a partnership, one of our workshops, either with the SBA or with one of our resource partners. And join a network of like-minded business owners and get involved. And so anyways, as we move forward, SBA is here to help you start, grow, expand, and recover from disaster. I want to urge everybody to leverage every resource out there so that we can drive growth moving forward. And at the SBA, we are here. We look forward to serving you, all of us. I know I'm a dedicated public servant. I've been one since the early 90s, and we care. We are working hard here in San Diego to do everything we can to support small business owners. And so please, it's our job. Reach out to us, reach out to the resource partners. And I know a lot of times small business owners, they are very independent and they are go-getters and they are doers. So this is one of those times where we gotta come together so that we can support each other and take the next step and move forward. And none of us know exactly what this looks like, but I want to share that we're here for small business owners. If you're thinking about getting into business, whatever stage of business you're in, we're going to be here, Neil, today, April 17th, and we're going to be here in the future. And I thank you for inviting us to share with you.
Absolutely, and I thank you for the work and others like you in the SBA and other federal agencies that are really helping to kind of, as I said earlier, weather this storm, because this is kind of some unprecedented times, and kind of, just like you said, we all kind of have to be in this together.
Yeah, absolutely, together it is.
For sure. Everyone, that marks the end of another episode of Teach the Geek Interviews. My name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. I have an online course there called Teach the Geek to Speak. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and stay safe out there. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Neil. Take care.